While Speakly actually has many 70, 80 and even 90-year-olds learning languages very successfully with us, you can't imagine how many 50-year-olds and even 40-year-olds tell us in their feedback that they are just too old to learn a new language. So in today's video we'll explore if this is actually the case and if 40 and 50-year-olds can actually say that they are too old to learn a new language. Let's go! So if you are battling with your parents about they should start learning a new language or improving their existing language skills, but they're just telling you that, no, I'm too old to do that, my brain doesn't pick up new information anymore and stuff like that, then this video is meant for you because it will give you all the ammunition and ideas to throw at them to really convince that there would be nothing best to really start learning a new language, because it has so many benefits, not only for their livelihoods and their self-love, but also on their actual health and brain health. And as you can imagine, obviously kids pick up things faster. But the trick here is that that necessarily doesn't make the learning process more efficient if we compare kids and adults. While adults' neuroplasticity obviously is a little bit lower than in kids, and by the way, neuroplasticity just means that how open your brain is for new changes and new connections, which actually learning something new is. Adults show better results in time management, in having actual skills to learn, and etc. So before we dive into all these topics, as a summary we can say that it actually kind of evens out. Even though for kids it's almost automatic to pick up something, for adults they have the tools to make learning actually as efficient. And this is even more so true if you talk about language learning applications like Speakly. You don't even need to have any learning skills per se to be successful in learning a new language, even in your 60s, 70s or 80s or 90s. So let's be real about this now. We all have busy lives, I understand. But if somebody says that I'm too old to learn a new language, what they are actually saying is one of the following two things. Number one, I don't need these skills to survive, and if I would need these new language skills to survive, I would for sure acquire them, but because of the fact that I don't, I just won't make the effort. And number two, as an adult or an older adult, the society actually stops requiring that we would make such kind of leaps in our self-development. It's funny if you think about it like that. Older adults actually can make this psychological decision that, oh, I won't learn anything new because the society doesn't expect me to. I'm kind of like a ready product, a ready-made product that doesn't need to be upgraded in any way. As you can see, in both of these cases, actually the belief system that, I am too old to learn a new language or something else new comes from complacency and lack of motivation. And lack of motivation given to you from the outside world. Another thing here to understand is that we need to be on the same page of what we understand as to learn a language, what it actually means. And this is something that we encounter a lot when we communicate people who are older adults, but actually everybody out there. And it's the notion that a new foreign language seems to be something so big and unbeatable that I lack the motivation to start because I don't believe that I can get somewhere significant. Now, so as you probably know by now, Speakly uses a special methodology to beat that, to basically break this misconception, because Speakly only teaches words and sentences based on how statistically relevant they are in real life conversations. And if we study a language in such a way, that actually a language becomes small and controllable and reachable as a goal. So on the top here you can see a link to a video where I talk about how actually you need so much less words to speak properly in all kinds of real life situations. Just to give you an example, you would need 1200 most common words to communicate in about 70% of any real life situation, and 4000 words to communicate in basically all kinds of situations that you might encounter. So if you actually approach a language with a proper method that is based on science, then this will take away the fear. Now let's look at 3 reasons why every adult and older adults especially should learn a new language. There's actually a massive body of research, I linked some of the links also in the description, that suggests that there are so many benefits for your health in general if you are learning a new language, but especially there are many health benefits for your brain, and it helps to offset possible dementia and Alzheimer's disease, for example. So there is no downside. And it actually makes sense, right? Because learning a language is basically like taking your brain to the gym. It needs to generate new links between neurons, and all kinds of cool things happen in the brain while you are learning a new language. So why let your brain be idle while you can have a nice workout on your brain while enjoying a new language at the same time? A language is actually nothing but a tool to discover the world and the people around us. And as a polyglot who speaks and understands 7 languages, I've experienced in numerous times how these languages that I know have helped me really dive into German, French, Spanish, Italian, and etc. cultures in a way that I wouldn't have been able to do without those language skills. It's a totally new level of connection with a culture. So this is something that you should for sure experience for yourself as well. So many people have complicated relationships with themselves. We all sometimes lack self-love and self-respect and all these kinds of things. But what I've discovered is that learning a new language and actually making progress in those languages has a massive impact on my own self-respect and self-love and my own self-image as a person. And I guess it's the same with all kinds of skills, even if it's like chess or checkers. But a language more so forms a part of your identity as a person and kind of gives you this individual value in your own eyes, more so even than in the eyes of the others. And that's what I've discovered. So these were some of the reasons why, as an adult or older adult, everybody should learn a new language. And they're actually very common sense, right? So next time when you are having a conversation with your spouse or with your parents or your grandparents, just point out some of these things that we were covering in this video, and it might be that these people close to you will embark on an adventure of learning a totally new language. Until the next time.